Hey everyone, Haider Arsiwala here and welcome to another video. Now this seems to be a very casual video where I will be sharing a few things that I recently jotted down. I penned down, I was introspecting and I realized that these were the things that I myself was doing wrong and these were not good for my own self growth, for my own learning and growth. So through this video, I just wanted to quickly get on this video and share those few things so that if there's someone out there who is doing these things and is not aware about them, he realizes, and even to make myself accountable that these are the things that I'm doing wrong and I need to work on them. So the first thing is that feeling like you know everything. Now, this present even in the slightest way within you can harm you, can stop you from learning and growing. Because there's so much content out there, because there's so much video and easily accessible content out there, you feel that you know some words, you know some jargons, that means you know more than the other person. And this used to happen with me because I consume a lot of content. I like to learn from books. I like to learn from videos. There were people whom I used to work with or who I used to be with, and they were not as good in able to document things so that they could convince me that they know better than me or they know some things better than how I know. And then I used to stop hearing them because I wasn't sold that okay, they know better than me. I used to feel that okay, I know this, I've heard about this, you don't need to teach me. Well, you might know a few jargons, you might know the content, but there are people out there who are more experienced than you, and reality doesn't work the same way. You need to be humble enough to go and learn. And to have this feeling within me that I know everything is something that stops me from learning and it stops me from growing. The second thing, which might sound contradictory to the first thing, is that trying to know everything or wanting to know everything. Now, as I said, because there's so much content available out there, because there's so much things easily accessible, you want to be a master of everything. You want to have that alpha that, okay, I know this. Okay, I know I can speak about this. I can debate on this. I know the data about this. I know the statistic about this. But this in turn, this habit in turn, helps you to have this mental exhaustion. And this is something that I have not noticed only in my own self, but on a lot of Gen Z, that they are so much aware about stuff. They are so much like they are the master in everything and they can even debate and beat a person who's experienced in debate. But the thing is that trying to know everything, wanting to know everything, makes you a generalist in all, but it does not help you in a dimensional growth, in one dimensional growth in one thing. So the one thing that you need to question and that I've started to question in my own self is that okay, if I'm investing my resources, my time in this, is it genuinely helping me in my self growth? Is it genuinely helping me to become a better person? Is it genuinely helping me to be and do the things that I'm doing currently in a better way? If yes, then I need to invest in it. If not, then I need to think about it because I don't need to know everything. The things that will be important for you to know, trust me, those things will come to you and trust me, you will become aware about it. So that's another thing that I realized about myself. The third thing is trying to understand everything academically. Being an engineer, this comes from my past, this comes from my background, and people think, I have been this, but I have a different kind of thinking. I have a different thought process. Everyone feels like that. But as it is rightly said that process will beat people in the longer run. Even if you don't agree, even if you don't accept, being in such an environment, being in an organization, being studying particular things for a certain year, you develop subconsciously, you develop a certain way of thinking, a pattern of thinking. And until and unless you become aware about it, you will use that and you will only use and implement that in your work. And being aware about it, I realized that I used to try to find logic behind everything. I used to try and ask क्या इसके पीछे का लॉजिक बताओ, इसके पीछे का क्या एक्शन है वो बताओ. But then I realized that हर चीज़ का लॉजिक उसी वक्त पता चले ये ज़रूरी नहीं है. Sometimes there's a problem, you don't get the solution, and the best way is to leave that problem for sometimes just like that. And then with a different perspective, with a different thought process, when you approach the problem, you easily find the solution. So trying to understand everything academically does not work out. The thing is that telling stories instead of asking questions. Now I realize that people who know me know that I'm a very outgoing person, I like to talk a lot. But I've seen that because of this, I have a habit of telling stories. Many presentations, many meetings, when the person speaks and when he ends, I share a story or I share a thought. And then even though people appreciate, I think that, okay, what was the use of me saying that? Like, why did I do that? And then I realized that I need to change that habit or transform that habit into more curiosity, into asking of questions rather than telling my stories to get that social position or social status. And the last thing, one of the last thing which I will like to share through this video is talking to people, trying to build social relationships just to avoid a pain and not gain momentum. Now this I realized in my early days, or wherever you will go in a new situation, we as a person have this thing, we need a lift, a kick in our head, the dopamine, the chemical that gives. And social interactions, meeting new people, making new friends gives us this dopamine kick. Whereas as a person, if you go in new places, you will see that you will avoid work, you will avoid pain, you will avoid momentum and you will invest into these things. And I used to realize that even I used to unnecessarily go and communicate with people, unnecessarily go and try to build relationship with people. And later I realized that okay, this was something that I was doing to not to avoid pain, and this wasn't helping me to gain the momentum that I need. And now when I want to go and talk too much out to people, or when I want to go and be too much socialized, hold myself back, and then I ask myself that कुछ है जो मैं avoid कर रहा हूँ, is there something that I am avoiding? And then I realized, and then I introspect about it. So these were a few things which might be very common, but I realized that I was doing wrong. And for my own self growth, for my own understanding, for my own learning, I jotted all of these things down, and I need to work on them, and I might practice them to see that I do not do all of these things. I hope this video, a casual video, provides you an insight. It helps you to be aware, and do let me know in the comments your thoughts about the same. So thank you very much for always watching my video. To subscribe my channel. See you in the next video.